Hey world, my name is Tamara Jasmine with Jasmine Soiree, and I am here with a very special guest, attorney Lee Miller, who is running for District 34. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
So let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Why are you running?
I think the time is right. I've been preparing for this my whole life. I will admit that it is a little early because I wanted to take some more time to get myself more established, do some more things in the community. But when I looked at it, I've done enough. I think the time is now, and I've been groomed for it.
So what does Arkansas mean to you?
Arkansas is home. I've always left, came back. When I left for college to Dillard University in New Orleans, I came back home. When I went to go work in New York, I came back home. When I went to law school in Michigan, I came back home. So Arkansas is home for me.
Gotcha. Did you come back because you felt like there were more opportunities here, or you wanted to be an impact in your community?
Both.
Okay.
I feel that Arkansas loses a lot of its talent because a lot of people don't want to take the time to develop the talent here. And so they go abroad for better opportunities. But I feel like if I came home, I could create opportunities and get more people to stay and also come back.
Okay. So what is more important right now for our city? Is it building new homes and commercial spaces, or is it investing in what we already have here?
Well, specifically in District 34, we need
Yes.
to invest in what we already have. We have what some of my contractors will call good bones in our homes already. So we just need to revitalize the communities that are here and then develop a way around them. Because you can't just start new developments in areas that need more work.
So with that being said, a lot of people have concerns about like gentrification, especially in your district. What is your thoughts on that?
So we should definitely embrace gentrification, but we also should push home ownership. That's the biggest thing. So we need to be a part of it because what's the opposite of gentrification? No, there's not a term yet to describe what's the opposite. So we need to encourage people to hold on to their homes and be a part of the development. Don't run away from it.
So I have a question just to kind of piggyback on that. When we talk about don't sell your homes, the thing is when the property value drops because maybe the crime rate or maybe the housing area is not being upkept properly, what are your thoughts on going in to kind of change those things and kind of improve the look of the properties?
Oh, that's just part of the revitalization of the community.
Okay.
So if you're not in a position to do your own revitalization or upkeep or upgrade your home, you want to sell smart. Don't just sell out of panic, right? You want to do your research, know what your home is worth, know what's going on around in the community, and also sell to someone who may have your interests in mind, right? Because if everybody on the block sells super dirt cheap and then they just build condos, is that what you wanted to be there? Or would you like a park to be there? What do you want to be there? And so although you can't limit what a person does with a property once you sell it, but you can see what type of person they are and what they have in mind for the community and the city itself.
So I want to go back to that.
Okay.
What happens if a person, let's just say we have elders that maybe been in their home for 40 years, right?
Okay.
The outside of it is kind of decaying. They don't have the funds to fix it, but they don't want to sell because that's home. Are there things that are going to be put in place to make sure that they can be assisted?
Yes, there's several programs in place. The city of Little Rock has a program already in place that can help retired individuals who qualify financially to help revitalize their home. Also, if there's an emergency, it's wintertime now. Some people are on fixed incomes and they can't afford to fix their heat and that type of thing. So the city has funds to do that. There's also federal dollars that can help out with that. Another thing, what I want to do is create workshops at the resource centers that we can have grants. So District 34 can have a grant program that we constantly apply for grants to fix up our own communities. And then also there needs to be a pool of money created by private investors. Because again, this is Granny's home, right? This is Big Mama's house.
Big Mama's house.
Okay, well, we could co-op it. And sometimes it's okay to sell, right? But let's sell smart. Let's not sell in a panic. So let's come up with a strategy and a plan. That's my biggest key thing. I don't like for people to be being reactive all the time. We just need to be proactive. So if we know that we're gonna sell Big Mama's house, let's have a plan, a dollar amount we're looking for, or let's try to fix it up and then sell it so we can get more for it, right?
Right.
Makes sense.
So what makes you relatable to the people?
Relatable? Well,
Relatable.
Probably because I'm probably related to the people.
Probably.
I'm from Little Rock, born and raised, right here in the Highland Court area at a very young age. Went to Thrasher, Boys and Girls Club, went to Mills, Fuller, stayed in Southwest, lived on Pinecone, went to the skating rink. I'm definitely from here. And so for me, I never looked at myself as being any different. I played sports. So in sports, you always got to have teamwork and sportsmanship. And so for me, I'm going to shake hands with the janitor. I'm going to shake hands with the president because everybody has a role to play, right? Because if the janitor doesn't do his job, it's going to make my job that much more frustrating because I'm expecting it to be clean. But I have to do my job too, or there's no job for the janitor.
That is correct. So how do you plan on involving the residents that are in your district regarding decision making?
I want to start a coalition of all neighborhood associations,
Okay.
Especially the ones here in District 34 and the ones that neighbor them, because there's no excuse for the city to have a pool of money, federal government have a pool of money, and then we have private citizens with money that want to help the community, but we're not tapping into that, we're not utilizing that. Right now we have a food desert on 12th Street. You can't get an apple or a cup of coffee without traveling far and wide. So if we can't raise the money federally or through the city and the state, then we need to get private investors, right? People do a lot of talking. It's time out for talking. We need action. So I need 100 people to give me $1,000. Let's co-op the grocery store. We have farmers here in Arkansas. We can create a farmers market. We can do a swap meet. There's a lot to be done with that property there. And not only that, we could do a community garden. We have Philander Smith College right here. We have UAPB up the road. We got Pulaski Tech. So Shorter College, where I teach, Arkansas Baptist. So we have the students that need internships, they need experience. We can create programs that not only give those people jobs, but also create equity for companies, right? Because we gonna sell Big Mama's house, let's put it in this grocery store. Now our money is making money for us. Again, being proactive and not reactive to what's going on. We know there's a lot of problems. It's time to start problem solving instead of just problem listing. So that's how I would get them involved.
You feel like money definitely needs to continue to recycle within the community?
Absolutely. Statistics, I don't want to misquote the statistics, but we don't cycle the African American dollar as much as other dollars circulate in their community. I think it circulates one time, but in other communities it's 7 or 8. So we really have to focus on circulating the dollar. And so to pull it out of race, we need to circulate District 34's dollar, right? We need to spend money with our businesses right here. We need a business directory. So that's another way I can get people involved in District 34. Every business in District 34 or neighboring, they need to be listed in our business directory. Those funds from the directory, because you could sell ads, can go to the resource centers, right? So that's something small that we could do, you know? And so I think that's important.
On a personal note, tell me this, what does family mean to you?
Family is everything. I wouldn't be where I'm at without my family. Definitely, my mom raised me and my little brothers. She instilled a lot of things in me about hard work and sacrifice. And then my grandmother, my great grandmother, prayed for me. I have some quotes and stuff that I live by, given from my dear. And even my grandmother, you know, our family is everything. It's really, really. Because I have baby cousins and little nieces and nephews that I'm building a better Little Rock for them. Some of y'all might not remember, I don't know, it's like I'm big on Little Rock. I remember that was a big campaign, right? So we still need to continue to be big on Little Rock, I think.
Okay, so you are running for the late, great John Walker. Tell me, what does his legacy mean to you? And if you win, how will you continue to uphold it?
Okay, his legacy to me, I think, stood for standing up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. I think that he also was not afraid to not only stand up for what was right, but say what was on his heart and mind. Another thing about John Walker, I think he was self-sufficient. He was independent. And so for me, that just breathes air into my lungs. District 34 needs someone who can stand up, say things that are unpopular, but are right. And so I feel like I could do that. And so I will do that. I'm an attorney, I'm independent, nobody else signs my checks. The community signs my checks, right? I work for the community. So I think that that's important.
So with that being said, how do you plan on bridging the racial gap?
To bridge the racial gap, I think that we have to invite everybody to the table. But first we need to talk to District 34 and everybody that's in District 34. So racially, we need to talk about what issues all the races are having, and then invite everybody into business. I think business unifies people. And also it's family. So it's District 34 with family. So we have to create it like a family affair. And also join their organizations and have them join ours. We have to create a coalition of unity in the city.
Okay. So I have a question. When
Okay.
you say join opportunities business-wise, some may feel like, well, what opportunities are we joining if a lot of the real estate is not black owned? So how do we kind of change that?
We got to get some black ownership.
Okay.
So, I mean, and how do we get black ownership, right? So that's the next question. We have to crowdsource, I don't know the term, but we have to pool the money together. There's opportunity zones. There's also federal funds, state funds, but we have to come up with a plan. That's another thing too. A lot of people do a lot of talking. So we have to come up with a strategic plan. We want these 5 properties. Now, let's come up with a budget, how we gonna finance them, the upkeep, and then we'll do it. We'll create what businesses do we need. Like I said, we need a community garden. We need to do something with the grocery store, coffee shop. Can I get a taco on 12th Street? I like tacos.
Anything is possible.
Well, right. So
Anything is
we just
possible.
come up with business that we need, and then we go from there. But you have to have a strategic, systematic plan to get it done.
Okay.
And we need to find who owns these buildings, because a lot of these businesses are owned by black people. So
Some yes, some not.
I mean, yeah, some. Not all, but some.
Okay. So I have a question for you. This is a fun question. If
Okay.
you received a $1 million grant, what would you do with those funds in your district?
I would reinvest it in the district. So first thing I would do is figure out what to do with that space with the grocery store. I will also put money in all the resource centers, because those are the people who are doing the grassroots organizing, who are revitalizing the community. I've already talked to Ms. Hearn at the art gallery about doing mini libraries and all the resource centers. So we're gonna book share. So it's a mini library in the resource center. Let's just imagine 10 books, all right? And so there's a new up and coming artist from Philander Smith or Arkansas Baptist College or UAPB. They now can go to one of the 10 resource centers around the city on a mini book tour and sell their books to the resource centers, because they have to have books in their resource center library that we're going to create. What does that do? That's pushing education. So now you can come and read, and you can share a book. You can take the book. When I was in law school, all the coffee shops, the books are there. It's full of books. You just take a book, bring a book. Right? But they also have books there for sale. So you could buy a book. And so I think that's something that I would do. With the affordable housing, we'll go through and we'll buy some of these vacant lots and build them up. And some of these old homes, we need to tear them down. I mean, and that's just the reality of it. Some of these homes are past the point of repair. So we just have to tear them down and revitalize the community like that. Our education system, I will try to create more after-school programs and beef them up, because some of the after-school programs we have are great and doing a great job, but they're full. So we have to create new ones or create new opportunities. So that's what I would do, and just really make sure that we're putting the money where we need it to be. And then honestly, I would have a town hall meeting and let the district decide what's important and where we should put the funds. So I think that'd be good.
I think that'd be great. I do have a question. So when you mentioned some homes need to be torn down, because some homes do need to be torn down, the question is, what then happens to that space? Because what happens is someone comes and they buy the lot for cheap, and then they turn around and rebuild the home, and then they sell the home for, let's just say, I'm throwing out a price, $300,000.
Right.
Well, someone in that district may not be able to afford a $300,000 home. So what could be done to make sure that if these houses are torn down and built back up, it's affordable for the people?
Right. So that's a part of the affordable housing piece. So when the person who owns it and tears it down, again, back to having a systematic plan and strategy. If we know going in that we are going to tear these houses down and put affordable housing, we can already look at the median income and say, okay, we can't charge over $650, $750 a month. Right. And that is, if that's what we decide is affordable housing for the area, then that's what it just has to be. But again, we have to have a plan going in on the front end. And so we're not reacting. So that's what I think.
Okay. So getting to know the man, what do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to sit in the sauna and act like I'm working out.
Act like you're working out? Me too. Me too.
I'm a part of the chess club here in Little Rock. I like going to the movies a lot of times by myself.
Okay.
I do enjoy a good Netflix movie here and there.
We all do.
So I do that, and that's really it.
So just a regular, normal, everyday thing.
Absolutely. Spending time with my family, frat brothers. I like to grill, so I like to experiment with grilling different things. So
you can cook
a little bit.
decent?
No, I can really cook really well.
You can really cook?
Yeah.
Okay. Send me a plate. I'll let you know how that turns out.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
What we'll do.
So I have a question.
Okay.
If someone came to you with a proposal to build a new piece of public infrastructure,
Okay.
what would be your way on handling that? What are the questions or concerns that you may have for that individual?
What strings are attached to the funds?
What strings are attached to the yeah.
So because even if I give you a blank check, right? They want something. And so what I would do is try to figure out what it is that they're looking for in return. So that'd be the first thing. But if it's just to revitalize the community and come up with some new things, then I would just first pick out a spot, because that's important. Again, you got to have a plan, a systematic plan of attack.
Okay.
So I would say, okay, am I going to build a rec facility? Am I going to add on to a facility that's already here? Are we going to tear down something, build something new? It really depends on what I felt the district needed at that time. Because right now we have a lot of issues, and so I would just need to step back and see what we really needed.
How will you incorporate more jobs in your district?
By turning that food, focusing on economic development, and focusing on our food desert. So if we co-opt the grocery store there, that will provide jobs. If we create a farmer's market, that's a new job. Also, I want to incorporate something with the resource centers and getting the lots, these abandoned lots cut. We could pay our youth $10 or $15 during the summer to like cut the lots, because they're in the community, they need summer jobs. I think that that's something that we could take up as a district and a community. So that's what I would do. And also work with other businesses and see what they're doing in other states, because we have to find ways to make money. I mean, that's the thing.
Right. So how do you work well under stress or time constraints?
By reading directions. So I read the directions first, look at the due date, and I try to be prepared a few days in advance in case something else happens.
Okay. Do you feel like a lot of people have concerns because you are a younger candidate running for the seat?
Some have actually voiced their concerns.
Okay.
And I respect their opinion, but I think being young allows me the time and the energy to do all the work that needs to be done in District 34. You have to understand that District 34 is a major district in the heart of Little Rock. It not only covers the front part of Chenal, it covers the University District, and it covers Pine and Cedar around the Willie Hinton Center. So that means that I would have to meet with 4 or 5 neighborhood associations all the time, stay in constant contact with people, doing work hours, up early, up late, because some of these people, you know, you can only catch them at certain times of the day because they have real jobs. And so you need someone that is young, someone who has the time and ability and the stamina to actually put boots on the ground and deliver. That's another thing too, right? We have to create a sense of accountability. So who can actually deliver for District 34? So that's what I would say to them. Let my youth be something that lets you know that I have the time and energy to get things done, and I'm willing to put the work in once you look at my resume and things that I've done.
Okay. So we do have the Willie Hinton Center. We have the new police substation that's right next door, right? So what are your plans for providing mentorship within the community?
Okay, well, I've already started my own nonprofit. It's called the Miller and Young Lead Academy.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. And so I want to encourage other people to do it as well. But for mine specifically, what we do is we focus on healthy eating, because a lot of teens and a lot of young men, we eat terrible. And as we get older, we continue to eat terrible. And so the number one killer for most men is salt, sugar, and stress. So you have to learn how to monitor your diet, the things you eat, your water intake, and also you have to work out. Like you have to walk, jog, drink your water, do those kinds of things. The other thing my program focuses on is ACT prep and college and trade readiness. Okay. Even if you don't want to go to college, you still need to be prepared to take a standardized test, because a lot of jobs are requiring those now. So you have to be able to sit in a seat for a couple hours, answer multiple choice questions. And then also on any job, you have to read, write, and do arithmetic. So those are basic things that you got to know. And the other thing we focus on is just overall life skills as a guy, right? You need to know how to change a flat. You need to know how to fry an egg. You need to know why it's important to wear your belt on your waist and not below your waist, because that cuts down your circulation. So there's a lot of health things too. So that's what I would do. And then we also need to just be more active and support our parents with just sports, after school programs, volunteering, and giving things for the youth to do. Because I was in Upper Bound. I was a part of the park program. I went to Thrasher Boys and Girls Club. I learned how to swim there.
Right.
So like kids these days, like, you know how to swim? No, right? I actually went to swimming lessons. I had golf lessons. I played tennis. Did a lot of things as a kid. I was at space camp, right? So there's not even an IMAX here anymore. And so I remember going to the IMAX and being a part of space camp. It's like a 2-week camp. So, you know, just try to put funds and energy into things like that to give the kids, to expose the kids to more so they'll want more.
Right, right. So what opportunities do you plan on providing business owners with?
Business owners?
Yes.
Oh, they need, that's part of the economic development. They need to be a part of the co-ops and the businesses that we bring. So even with small business, I say small to medium businesses, they need more opportunities to make money. So that's why we would need a directory for District 34. We need to do more shopping sips. I don't know if people still do that.
Oh, they still do it.
They still do those? Okay.
I don't know how many men do it, but us women, we do it.
Okay, so yeah, and we have to create avenues and spaces for people to do that. And so that's what I would do. Also, we need to co-op spaces, right? So if you're just starting out your business, you may not be able to afford your own storefront, but maybe if you could half it with someone else and do it by the days of the week or parts of the month.
Right.
I seen it done in New York. So you would rent out a space for 2 weeks out of a month, that somebody else would have it for the other 2 weeks, and you could do it like that. And so we just have to find creative ways for people to make money.
If elected, what do you plan on accomplishing in your first 3 years?
First 3 years, well, number one, we gotta end the food desert. That's really big to me.
Okay.
And the community garden is really big. And then also the revitalization of the neighborhoods. So we need to go and try to do 2 houses, you know, a month is pushing it, but we need to work on the houses as we work through the district. And so that's where I would start for sure. 3 years, definitely.
Okay. So I know you have the educational credentials. My question is, what in your life experiences have qualified you to run for this position?
After graduating from college, I came back home. I worked for Congressman Vic Snyder. And when I worked for Congressman Vic Snyder, I worked on veteran affairs. I drove all over the state of Arkansas with Jamal Lampkin, talking to veterans, trying to get them resources, get them help, and also just commend them for their service and their dedication and sacrifice. Also, after that, I worked with the Secretary of State, Charlie Daniels, and in that office, we focused on starting new businesses, LLCs, partnerships, trademarks. So when people are looking to start new businesses in my economic development piece, I actually worked in the office that did that. If you want to be a notary, you can charge to be a notary. So I can actually walk you through the process of getting a copyright, getting a trademark, doing those type of things. I then worked on Fred Allen's campaign. When he won, I was his campaign manager. And then before that, I worked on Darren Williams' campaign. I was an intern, and I ran his canvas team as far as door knocking, putting up signs, getting the word out. So again, when it's time for economic development, affordable housing, those type of things, I actually have had boots on the ground, worked with candidates that brought change and change to the community. Mm-hmm. And then also, after that, I got the call to go to North Carolina and work for President Obama as a field organizer. Wow. So as a field organizer, I ran 2 counties. And so as a field organizer, my job was to organize individuals to get them involved in the community. And so I could do that right here in Little Rock in my own hometown. Get people on the phone, ready to march, work, support businesses, do cash mobs. Because again, we have to support our local businesses, our local artists. And so that's the way that we thrive in District 34. So you know what? Every third Thursday, we're going to go to the art gallery and everybody's going to buy a book. Or everybody's going to buy something. And next month, it'll be your business, right? So there's 50 new customers that you have. And so these are things that I've actually already done. Okay. So that is what qualifies me. Then I was able to go to law school. It's first generation in my family to go to college and do that. Wow. The only attorney in my family to do that. And so being able to have that know-how and the drive and the ambition, also the support, right? People prayed for me, right? It wasn't easy. So I don't want to make it sound like I just did it by myself. It was some lonely nights, some tears, but I got it done. And I know how to teach other people how to get it done. And I want to give it back because I want you to win too. Right. Because it does no good if one person wins from the community. You know, it's a can I quote a rapper?
Quote a rapper.
When one eat, we all eat. Everybody eats. Everybody eats. Okay. So we really have to do that. So.
I love that. So basically, this man right here is qualified for the job. I already know the answer to this, but do you consider yourself a competitive person? And if so, how does that benefit your district?
I do consider myself a competitive
I
person.
know it.
I mean,
I
but
know it.
only if I feel the need to compete, because I feel like there's no need to compete in races where you don't compare. Why does that make me an asset for District 34? Because I want us to be the best district. Let's be the most educated. Let's be the most healthiest. Let's create the most wealth. Let's pull together the most unified. You asked me earlier about unifying the district. Let's be the most unified, right? Let's have community groups when we have everybody come out to. And so that, I think, will answer your question.
So, you talked about us supporting businesses, right,
Mm-hmm.
within our community. So, where do you like to go and hang out within your community?
Where do I like to go? In the community or in the district? Wherever.
Community, district, wherever. Just where do you go to support?
Oh, where do I go to support? Well, I go to so I like chicken wings. So
You about to say Brewster's?
I go to
I rock
Brewster's.
with Brewster's. Shout out to Brewster's.
I go to chicken wing cafe. They just opened it on Martin Luther King and Roosevelt.
I go there too. Shout out to them.
I go there all the time. I go to Peter's Fish. I eat a lot though, so I do that. I also frequent the gyms. My buddy Paul and Quinn, they have gyms. I go there. Where else do I go in the district? I go to Uncle T's. There's a lot of food places.
So, but basically, you
I got a couple
are-
of other places that I don't.
No,
that I
but
go
this is
to.
good because basically what you're saying is that you do go back into the community and spend those dollars.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in circulating the black dollar and also circulating the district dollar. Like, we have to spend money with ourselves. It's a meme on social media. You know, everybody's kind of addicted to online shopping and Amazon shopping, but Amazon is not going to sponsor your Little League football team, right? They're not going to do that. So you need to shop at Uncle T's. You need to shop at your Brewster's Cafe. You need to shop at Sophisticated Urban. These are places that are right here.
Let's call them out.
You need to patronize Trois, right? You need to go to the movie theater over there on Markham, I think it is. But you have to patronize local businesses, right?
Right.
And even our up-and-coming artists, right? You have to go spend money with Miss Hearn in the art gallery because we have artists right here. So we need to support our local artists and all that. We need to do it. And even our fashion people, we have to support our talent here so they want to stay here. And so you have to spend money with them.
Okay, so how do you feel about our present transportation system? Do you feel like there are more things that can be done to help?
Yeah, I do. So we have to create. My grandmother goes to the centers. She's retired, and so some of them need transportation to get to the centers when they go out. So I think that's good. Also, we need to have transportation. Me and my friends joke about it. You know, in big cities, you can just like ride the bus or take an Uber
Train.
or any of that. But here at Uber, it'll take you 20, 30 minutes sometimes to catch an Uber. So we have to come up with creative ways to get people around the city because if they're getting around the city, they're spending money. So if they're not getting around, I mean they're not spending money. So that kind of goes to the economic development piece. Actually, there is a mini transit that they have through the West Central Community Center that works real well, and you can get around there $2 or $3 with their transit system. Right. So we should incorporate that into other parts of the city, so that you can get at West Central $2 there, go somewhere else for another $2, so you can get all the way around wherever you need to go. For under $10. But also, we should do something for our senior citizens and get them around the city too.
I agree.
I think that that's something that we should definitely incorporate.
I agree, and then I'm just thinking that's another possible business, carrier business.
Yes.
Definitely for the elders so they can get around because a lot of them are not driving anymore. And not all of them have someone at the house to take them to where they need to go. So there's definitely a need for that.
Absolutely. And co-op Uber shares, that could be a thing too. So I think there's a lot to do with the transportation here.
So what sets you apart from the other candidates that are running?
What sets me apart? My experience. So I'm the only one with actual campaign experience. I actually worked for President Obama. I actually worked with Congressman Vic Snyder. I actually worked with veterans and veteran affairs. I've actually been abroad and came back home. So I have a bigger vision of what Little Rock can be. I'm the youngest of the candidates. So again, that speaks to my stamina, my innovation, my use of technology, and my willingness to learn. Because although I'm young, I will respect my elders and listen, get up at 6 a.m, have a cup of coffee with them. I will go meet them at their lunch because I don't mind doing what it takes to get the deal done and being respectful. That separates me. Also, my education. So once we have a plan and strategy in place and we execute the plan, the next thing is a lawsuit. The other candidates can't file lawsuits. I can. So we don't have to pay anybody. So just like John Walker went and got those boys in Jacksonville, I too can go do that. They can't go do that. So we want someone who can deliver, who can actually get things done. Also, I've had experience, very, 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 very short stint with Brother Brown Lee at the Capitol, learning how to do that. And so I think that my experience, my education, my ability to get things done separates me.
Definitely separates you. So if you could change one thing regarding zoning in your district, what would it be?
Zoning in my district?
Yes.
Around Central High School, I would push for a mixed. So right now I think it's labeled as historic. So I would do a mixed district, kind of like what they have in the downtown Main Street. Mm-hmm. So that way we can bring in coffee shops and things like that, and shops and boutiques. Because as it stands, it's not mixed commercial. So it has to be all residential. And so what that does is it limits what you're able to do. So if we could do a couple high rises, we could do some coffee shops. I mean, you could do more with it.
Right.
So that's what I would push for. And that would also open up more jobs and more economic development and that type of thing.
It will. So tell me this. What is the next fundraiser event that you have coming up?
And we're still waiting on the date. So you just have to go to voteleemiller.com and check it out.
Okay, so if a person is wanting to volunteer, if they're wanting to donate to the campaign, give it to me one more time.
Okay, it's voteleemiller.com.
Voteleemiller.com. You might as well look in the camera for that.
Okay, so you guys can go to voteleemiller.com. You can sign up for volunteering. You can sign up to donate. Anything, your questions, comments, concerns. You can also reach me on my phone. My phone number is 501-777-0725. Voteleemiller.com is the website. And I'm on all social media platforms, Lee Miller, District 34.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to say this. I believe in you. I am very proud of you. And I'm excited to see how bright that your star is going to get. I think this is amazing work.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Do you have anything else you want to add? I always tell my guests, can you drop some knowledge on us? Leave us with something.
Leave with something.
Yeah, it could be anything. Your favorite quote, whatever you feel that can encourage people.
Yeah, so, absolutely. My favorite quote is, you don't have to be brilliant to be extraordinary. And I'm going to say it again real slow in case it missed you. You do not have to be brilliant to be extraordinary. And what that means is you just have to show up every day, practice good habits, and get the job done. And before you know it, you'll look up and people will say that you were brilliant and you did such a wonderful job. But it starts with the first step. So again, you do not have to be brilliant to be extraordinary. And I want all you guys to be extraordinary.
That was amazing. So again, Attorney Miller here with us. He is running for District 34. The voting day is January the 14th. Get out and vote. It's so important that we vote local. I'm Tamara Jasmine with Jasmine Soiree, and this was another episode of Gems. Ciao for now. We're done. That's a wrap, baby.
All right. Well, thank you.